Hey, welcome back. The Real with Mel Highsmith. Hey, I just want to tell you about a couple things. I'm reading back up, and my mind's really been trying to wrap around the rulings of why any live venue, or just say bar, cannot be open unless it's 51%. And so what I did is I'm sitting here actually reading articles right here off TABC, here for the state of Texas. And the amazing thing that blows my mind is they actually got the names of the bars that they're, hey, how's everybody going? Zeke, I'm glad to see you here. Running it off my camera so I can wave at all you guys. And say, how's it going? So, Will Highsmith, how's it going? Mike Mitchell Sutton, how you doing? Foddy Body, how you doing? So, anyways, just back what I was talking about. They actually, on the TABC website, they have the names of the bars that they saw, I guess, for infractions against the TABC ruling, or from the governor that states if you do not sell more than 51% of your sales in food items, you have to close down. You were closed down, bottom line. So I'm just going to go ahead and read a little bit of this article and let your mind be blown just as much as mine. Okay, this is in Austin, Texas. Okay, this one came out. This article on TBC on their website came out June 21st. So these are only beginning of some of the videos that they have more or less. This, give them a 30-day permit suspension. So most of them, by last month, it was up. But a lot of people have given up their license because of everything that's going on. I mean, how can you survive as a venue if you cannot bring in your revenue? So anyways, they said, the TABC said that they gave 30-day suspensions to the soon-to-be mentioned, I'll mention all the bars. Protecting the health and safety of Texans during the pandemic is our top priority. TABC executive Derek Bentley Nettles said, "We warned businesses TABC will have no tolerance for breaking the rules, and now some bars are paying the price. I hope other establishments will learn from these suspensions." Wow, just blows my mind. So here's some of the businesses, and everybody, their thing, jump to their social media and show them their support. But the first Sunday they did this, they got the Handlebar Houston out of Houston, Texas. The Barge 295 out of Seabrook. Harris House of Heroes in Dallas, Texas. The new PRs in Fort Worth. The Unbelievable West 6th in Austin. Go figure, in Austin. It's probably a good thing they're closed right now. Little Woodrow's in Lubbock, Texas. And Coconuts in El Paso. The day before, they got Buford's Backyard Beer Garden in Austin. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Ice House in Austin. And the list goes on. Work Bar El Paso, Marty's Live Dallas, and Elevate Nightclub McAllen. That's almost like the Gestapo. They know that these people need their income at all costs, right? At all costs. And so what do? They slap down a new ruling, they're closing everything, leave everything open, which is a good thing. Charles Highsmith, how you doing? So, which is a good thing, but keep these poor guys closed. Now, I've seen on social media all these bars and everybody's saying bye. And it absolutely blows my mind that no one's allowed to be open. Now, I have heard, and I'm part of a group of members on Facebook that has a group going. Anyways, long story short, so I keep hearing everybody talking there. They're thinking that TABC is going to lighten their rules and allow people to go in and reapply for an addendum to their license so that they can sell food products so they can open back up. I think pretty much as people drop their license with TABC, they're starting to realize that, wow, we're going to have to do something. I know a lot of the bars around me that were affected, and in the week, they're really not that busy. Maybe on a Friday and Saturday night. But just like the other places around that are 51% who are packed with business. What is the difference? Damn it. We're talking about people's income in their lives here. We have to make the difference. So it just leaves me completely stoned, like the days of Jesus Christ himself, of the Gestapo tactics they have taken against the smaller venue owners. So if you get a chance, all those venues, I'll rename them here in a bit, that were caught by the TABC out there flexing their muscle, you know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So anyhow, I'm gonna give a little bit of lowdown of all the people that I know they're out playing right now and where their venues are gonna be at. Charles Highsmith, there you go, sent you a wave. A lot of you heard of Stoney LaRue, very talented guy. I got a really good story about it. I held a Battle of the Bands called the Clash for Cash a little over a decade ago, and this guy sitting out in the crowd, I had somebody did a no-show us on the event, so the guy sitting out in the crowd was none other than Stoney LaRue, but I didn't know that. So he actually played the whole show under a different name. And I was like, man, who wrote all that music you played? He goes, oh, this guy's Stoney LaRue. So that's my claim to fame with him. But he's going to be at Shops Barbecue, okay, August 13th at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So that's a 4-hour show. So that's pretty good. And then I don't know whether this is going to go off at night or not, but we have Andy Armendariz. His birthday bash is, he leased out an event place called Mary Toddy's. And it's supposed to be from 1 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. in Round Mountain, Texas, August 15th. You got the Bellamy Brothers, August 22nd at Buck's Backyard. Don't know if that's good. I do not know if that's being canceled, but I'm pretty sure it probably will be. Then some of our local favorites, the Cadillac Gypsies. I had them on a show that I hosted called the K-Bay FM Homegrown Hour, and they're our most viewed guests we had on the show. So they're gonna be August 29th. Then First Capital is gonna be sponsoring at the Marble Falls High School, a drive-in movie, all-time great, Indiana Jones. You gotta admit it, Will Highsmith, you're watching, everybody loves Indiana Jones. So, and then you got good old Willie Nelson doing a benefit to raise some money for a candidate, which blows my mind, one of my heroes. So that's taking place September 4th and September 5th. That's all I'm gonna say on it though. And Stoney LaRue, let's go back to him. He comes back September 18th. If you see how the dates are jumping around, there's just no one out playing right now. Most everybody is doing their live video streams from their home, which they rightly should. It's the only other thing. I myself, my personal band, the Highsmiths, most likely will be going live from one of our rehearsals tonight. You know, it's like, we just want somebody to watch us, man. No, I'm just playing. But the dates are jumping around. I mean, just with the couple of venues that I did just talk about, most of them, you know, here we are at September 18th, September 19th. Let's see, Angel Club, Strengthen Your Intuition Power. That shouldn't even be on here. Then we got the great Gary P. Nunn at one of my favorite places in the entire world. William said, I like the first three, but the Kingdom of the Skull was horrible. It was horrible. I think that the first one was the best. That's just my opinion, you know, but I'm an old coot. So, just to get out of there. But yeah, so one of the wildest things, you know, I just want to go back to something I talked to about yesterday. I'm going to get off the music for right now. I just wanted to give a little promotion out to people. Oh, let me finish this off. Gary P. Nunn at the Uptown Theater, right here in Marble Falls, Texas. You gotta love that. September 26th, 7 p.m. It's amazing. Then Abraxas will be back. They've already played there once. Tribute to Santana, they'll be back on that night. Looks like we got a double header here, boys. So you got Gary P. Nunn and Abraxas on the same night. One going on at 7, the other one 8:30. All right, Seth Zargalos, that is so awesome to pull off. But anyways, just enough of that. We're going to talk a little bit about something that we covered for yesterday. And it was a tough one. You know, we're going to talk about the soldiers that were lost, and you see no coverage going on anywhere in the news. Although it wasn't a combat-related thing, we're talking about 7 sailors and a Marine. So that would be 7 sailors and lost for words. But anyways, a Navy SEAL, excuse me. I got kind of emotional about it. The military is very dear to my heart. So anyways, these guys died in an accident, and I've checked out the news. I've seen one article so far about it. I stated on yesterday's episode that the biggest thing is these young soldiers go in the military today in America, and it's because of what they do that I get to do this. You get to do what you're doing right now. Lisa Lusk, how you doing? I hope the pig roast goes this year, and I'm gonna look forward to playing it for you, darling. I want it to be a total success for you. You deserve it. You and your family have stood behind those children long enough. You don't see anything on the news about those soldiers. You don't see anything on the news about any of our soldiers that are overseas. Nothing. Everything is about mail-in voting. As Barack Obama said, it's just, this ain't jelly beans in a jar. People are getting sick. We have to have mail-in voting now. As he said it in a room full of people packed in there like sardines. So, but mail-in voting is going to be a tragedy if it does happen. Your life, my life, everything we've seen thus far and everything we've experienced. In my 50 years on this planet, I've been through quite a few presidents, right? That's more than a lot and less than some. But I've been through quite a few presidents, and I've never seen an election year since Obama took office that has been chaotic as it is. Every single year, every year, we have riots. BLM, the largest funding arm for the Democratic Party ever. It's the largest funding arm ever in the history of the world to elect anybody. And the deal is they're screaming that they're there for the rights of the African American. These are young, misguided, Caucasian people mostly, out there smash people's skateboards, get kicked by horses. I saw a video on that young lady who decided to go up and start beating on a police officer's horse, and that horse just rear back kicked that girl literally across the street. But the largest funding arm in the history of the earth is also one of the greatest hoaxes, because it is not for the betterment of the African American people. It is for the betterment of the elections of people who will do nothing but rob and steal from the African American people, robbing their heritage, their beliefs, their hope. And you see a lot of people around America attacking their neighbors, their neighbors, co-workers. It's actually a horrible scene, shaming people in public. It's just seeing people shame somebody over a mask just blows my mind for something that has a 99.96% survival rate. The flu numbers are absolutely blowing COVID out of the water. Of course, it's a little biased, and I get a lot of information off WAI, and I listen to Rush Limbaugh and Joe Pags and all that. But so morning, noon, and night, I get a steady feed of news. Jay Randall, welcome to the show. So, but it's absolutely insane. Back to the funding arm to the Democratic Party. If people don't understand it and feel relaxed that if we don't get out and vote, it's over. Can you imagine the chaos that's in the streets in Austin, Texas, New York, Seattle, all the big cities, right? That are all ran by Democrat governors. I'm not saying the Democrat people who identify as Democrat, fundamentally not a bad person. But I tell you what, I give everybody a history lesson. The South in the Civil War was Democrat. Okay? And still, people's ask, what happened? Values changed. Values changed. And then the flipping parties became Republicans, which was started by an African-American man. Gary Landis, how you doing, man? I'm glad to see you on the show. So, to the BLM, it raised more money than I think they ever anticipated. And it got some really messed up people elected. Now look at the areas that money went to elect them. Now look and check out, right, what they look like. BLM got Nancy Pelosi elected with funds her last cycle. Look at District 12 in California. Better, San Francisco. It's a cesspool. I want you to go on YouTube, look up the videos, and just see it'll blow your mind. But see, you don't see that on mainstream news, and I'll tell you why. Because most of the people who run those companies were all put into office when Barack Obama was there. Okay, so you don't see it. It's not being reported. They don't want to know these Democratic bastion cities that have these mass homeless population. Here's the question: how can anybody, and let's be truthful with you, how can anybody blame someone like me sitting in a room on a live feed that I'm responsible for the homelessness anywhere? I'm an everyday working Joe. This is what I do. So, but anything that's said on the news, they want to shame all the people who are being responsible. It's a tragedy when anybody loses their home or their livelihood. It's a total tragedy. And a lot of people, you may call them losers or whatever. Sometimes it's not to no fault of their own, but a tragedy nonetheless. So if you look at some of these Democratic bastions, you'll see them. It's cesspools, feces on the ground, urine everywhere, trash. I'm gonna give a perfect example of somebody who works in their community, right? Okay, there's a gentleman I know by the name of William Hall. We're both in the same type of music, don't see eye to eye on stuff sometimes, but we do eat at the same table. And he's had a project cleaning up a place called Slab Road in Kingsland, Texas. Okay, Glenn Collins, glad to see you. Glenn Collins, I'm gonna postpone that. What did he say? Glenn Collins said, "I just drove through my beloved Austin, Texas, see what our Democratic mayor has done for my town. Filth and lawlessness." That's right. Filth and lawlessness. The mayor of Austin, Texas, Mayor Adler, I don't think he had a clue. I think he saw the purse strings of a very large, successful town in Texas, and he just went for it. It's a shame that anybody who voted for him thinks it's a good job for people to be writing. You know what I mean? Our right in the Constitution gives us the ability to go out and protest if we like, but doing what we're constantly doing, not us, but people are going out there rioting, busting buildings, breaking windows, smashing cars, terrorizing the police officers. And by the way, these police officers, they can just pull their revolver out and just click. So feel that you're lucky that you can go up there, shoot the finger or blow smoke on one of those men's faces. And shame on the people that does. So if anybody in this world should be shamed, I'll just, switch the direction. Anybody that should be shamed is the people who do that to police officers. Because they don't have to do it. Not at all. They don't. Cheyenne Highsmith, how you doing? They don't have to get up every morning, get in their cars thinking, I'm going to go out and get spit on. I was heathen back in the day. A lot of us were. And I tell you what, every time I had a set of handcuffs put on me by a police officer, I was very obedient because I wanted to be over as fast as possible. I'll tell you one thing, I'm not going to touch on it too much, but I watched the entire, actually from two different body cams of the arrest of George Floyd. And the way that the media put it, I can tell you right now, you got Shanghai. They lied through their teeth completely on how they put it up. So I saw it from two different point advantages, and it blows my mind. Just another excuse to get a bunch of rich, gluttonous Democratic politicians elected to office. They had to use a tragedy regardless. They had to use a tragedy just to get their stuff going again. So, but Glenn, I get sidetracked on this stuff, man, what cops go through. Back to blue. You damn straight. I back the blue in my community. I back the blue in my state. I back the blue in all levels of my country. I want my people to be safe. There should not be tyranny, and you should not be afraid in your own homes. It's just so heartbreaking. You should not have to be afraid in your own homes. Like some of these residents in these cities, namely like Austin, Texas. Mel Highsmith, I think that the riots have been happening to keep everyone's focus off the really crazy, sick stuff that's happening on Epstein. I don't want to go too much into Epstein, but I'll tell you this, shame on Tom Hanks. He had a lot of people bamboozled, believing that he was one of the greatest actors and inspiration to their lives. Oh, hell. I really like Tom Hanks. Forrest Gump was a great movie, and then to realize that these sickos are what they done. I'll tell you this, people who hurt children, if you could read my mind, I wish should be done to them. People who protect these sickos, you'll be judged by God. In whatever form anybody believes that there is God, you're going to be judged in the end. But, William, you're probably just right. But really, this whole election, yeah, that's a side thing, okay? Yeah, shame on a lot of people that were involved. There's a lot. I don't want to say a lot of names. I'm not going to say any political names and stuff, but I can guarantee you a lot of the politicians right now that are, chucking the daggers and shooting the salvos around towards Donald Trump, you guarantee they got something to hide. And that's the saddest thing about it. And that a lot of people would believe this crap that comes out on CNN, MSNBC, and for that matter, even Fox News. It's all for show. They don't give us anything that matters, nothing of substance, just more and more and more riots, okay? My heart goes out to all the people in these cities. While we all sit here in the rural areas feeling comfortable for everything we do, right? I feel safe in Marble Falls, Texas, because, I back my blue here. I've got great employers. Yes, everybody's got an employer at some level, okay? I do have a day job. And by the way, I have a day job. I do all these shows on my time off and then what little time that I can spare during the day, okay? My heart goes out to everybody. I live in the rural areas, and I don't have to necessarily worry about it. I'm blessed in that aspect, Thank God for my community. Thank God for my town. Thank God for my family. And most of all, thank God for my clan, like in Scotland clan. I got to keep saying that so people don't get it bent. Harold, man, how you doing, sir? I'm glad to see you on here. The one thing about the real guys is spread the word, okay? I'm also looking for people who want to come in here and sit here and talk about today's events with me here on the Real with Mel Highsmith, okay? So if you're in my local area, you don't have to be a celebrity, you don't have to be a musician, let's come in here and let's talk. Everybody gets their say-so on the show. So whether you're a conservative, Republican, or whatever you may be, okay? I would love to have you here on the show. Let's talk about things. So spread the word. Uploaded a fresh video of one of the episodes with the intro on it to our YouTube channel, The Real with Mel Highsmith. So, make sure to check that out. But once again, let's all just real quick. I'm gonna say a real quick prayer, okay, for all the people that's in these cities that the riots are going on. Because the politicians, the Democratic politicians there can give two flying flips about them. They don't care about them at all, because they potentially might have voted for Trump, so they must pay. But anyways, let's pray on this one, man. Dear Lord, please give the strength and the guidance for all the peoples that live in these cities that have been going through this nightmare. Please lay your hand upon them, dear Lord, and love thy children. Amen. So, I had to do that because it's real emotional right now on how I feel about what these people are going through. I live in such a different area of my little world. We all do, in our small rural communities, because these rioters can't come up here and do this because they understand completely. So does the people and their handlers that pay them to do this. While we're worried about these guys getting their unemployment from the federal level, that unemployment pays for people to go out and pull this nonsense. Joseph, welcome to the show. Trey Gittleman, welcome to the show. I'm glad to see you on here. Trey's a very talented young musician here, highly affected by all the closures. But, maybe if he wants to come in here and sit and talk one day with me on this live show, he can pick on his guitar, man. He's super talented. So back to the HEALS Act. Here's the thing. We only got 4 days left. Okay, 4 days left for the HEALS Act to be passed in the House of Representatives. some of the things that they're going to have in the bill, the president just won't sign. It won't happen. They're not going to pay the $600 a week in unemployment. If they do, it is utter destruction to the secondary market of financial lending. But then again, that's what it is, to get the smaller financial lenders out, so that way the large corporates can absorb the rest of the money. 40% of everything is a lot, okay? That's what the secondary market, from payday lending, car title loans, pawn shops, on down the ladder, that's that 40%. So if that comes in, no one gets loans, no interest is made, and it slowly crumbles from there. And tell me the last time whenever you've had a bank, when you needed a loan to buy some material to build your fence, that they gave you a small loan. Tell me about that. So I never understood the process behind the pawn shops in the end, but they are the only one you can go to in a time of need and get that small loan, okay? Because the bank's just not going to do it. They really don't care. They don't. It's about making the fees. So, but back to the HILLS Act. If it doesn't go through, that means no one will see anything by late August, early September. But I believe by the stroke of luck, so they can have America stressing out and trying to get them to where they can hate Donald Trump even more, they'll agree to it, at the last hour right before midnight, before they go on another vacation that all of us lucky taxpayers get to pay for these people to take their luxury vacations around the world, around the country, to their second and third house that they bought and paid for, right, through their years in public service. I'm in public service, and I'll tell you right now, I do not live in a mansion. Okay, I don't. And my salary is not $500,000 or $300,000 a year. Okay, so anyways, but long story short, I want you to keep in mind, love your neighbors. Okay, grab your children, give them a hug, tell them how much you love them. Because remember, the world that we have today is what's going to be left to them. It's everything we do right now from this point forward, grassroots. If we don't get out and vote for our local people, who is going to really have a word for you? Okay? Yes, I'm a Republican. Yes, I'm voting for Donald Trump 2020. But regardless of what you think or how you may see the world bent right now, the elections are upon us. And if we don't do our duty as Texans, or as Americans, or even in our own home, it's over. Donald Trump loses this election at the president's level, we can kiss our ass goodbye. And I'm not saying that to say cool, I said a cuss word. We can kiss our ass goodbye. These guys are going to take us out. Dinosaurs like me, some of your brothers, your mothers, your friends, everybody, people who just grew up in these rural communities, and we just want to live our lives and live the American dream. And no, the American dream does not mean welfare. The American dream is you get up and work hard. You prosper in your community. Take care of your families. Because in the Communist Manifesto, which most Democrats live by, okay? And the Communist Manifesto is destroy the fucking, excuse my French, I almost said it, the American family, okay? It's to destroy it. So go home, kiss your husband, your wives, whatever you got to do. But get out there and vote. If you don't vote, we can't change the outcome of what's going on today. Okay? Regardless, you cannot say November 4th, I'm scared as hell because I don't know what's going to happen in the elections. It doesn't matter whether Donald Trump wins or Joe Biden. They're going to ride anyways. They don't care. So let's make a difference. Let's make sure that these Democrat politicians who believe that the Chinese and everybody else are the ones who deserve your dreams. Until next time, this is Mel with The Real with Mel Highsmith. We'll see you later.